All right, Lisa, take it away.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Jefferson. This is Lisa Girardi with the Chicago Dental Society, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar and to introduce you to America's leading expert on exhibiting productivity and performance. He is our trade show expert of choice who's created our Exhibitor ROI Center and leads the E3 Exhibiting Effectiveness Evaluation Program. Please join me in welcoming Jefferson Davis.
All right, thank you, Lisa. I think we want to jump in here before I get started. I've got a lot of really good content. I'm going to put a bright spotlight on some really killer resources that are available for you. But I think there were a couple things, Lisa, we want to give them a kind of an update on the midwinter meeting, just important logistical operational things. So go ahead and take that away, Lisa.
Okay. Registration for badges and for courses actually opened yesterday, November 1st, as is our custom. And we are proceeding along and hoping to have a strong midwinter meeting. I do want you to know that we still do have booth space available. And if you want to expand, you can always take a look at the online floor plan, which is live. Housing is available. Please go to our website to look at the hotels. We do not sell lists, nor will we communicate using a third party to sell you hotels or mailing lists. If you get any phone calls or emails from any group claiming that they work for Chicago Dental Society and that they're going to offer you a hotel list or a mailing list, those are pirates and are not associated with Chicago Dental Society or the Midwinter Meeting. And so we ask that you block them, delete the emails after you forward them to us so that we can forward them on the cease and desist letter that we have been promoting. I know
Yeah,
yesterday a slew of exhibitors got an announcement about mailing lists, but please, that is not legitimate. So block them.
yeah, Lisa, I want to add to that point because these companies, these pirates, we call them, especially the hotel pirates, they're getting so sophisticated that in some shows they're literally knocking off the look of the official event website. So you could click on this and think, wow, this is a CDS. And then you go on and go, oh, I'm going to book my hotel room. And then you book it and you probably never get a confirmation from them. Or maybe you get a bogus one close to showtime. And then you show up at CDS and you go to the hotel and the hotel says, yeah, no, we don't have a reservation for you. So Lisa's advice, I want to strongly reiterate, make sure you're booking your housing through this URL, no other URLs. And if you get any of those URLs, please forward those to Lisa because we will go after them quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, two more points, Lisa, you wanted to talk about here?
Also, if since they're trolling our website, because please know that we do not sell mailing lists of our exhibitors either. So they're trolling our website, grabbing your email addresses or your phone numbers. So if you have a customer service phone number, an 800 number, or an email address that is info@sales@, please, you can email it to me and we'll update your online profile so that these calls don't go direct to your private emails or your cell phones or desk phones. Also, as an exhibitor for the Midwinter Meeting, in partnership with our registration company, ATT, we offer each exhibiting company one complimentary lead retrieval license. You can upgrade this to a handheld device if you do not want to put this app on your mobile phone. And all you have to do is sign up with that email that I sent out on the 30th of October, or the 31st, and then we can just proceed. And closer to the show, you'll get the email confirmation with the instructions on how to download the app. You can always order additional units if you wish, and that can be ordered online through the Exhibitor Service Kit. Jefferson?
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. Hey, and everybody on today, I work with a lot of shows right now, and I'll tell you, lead retrieval in most shows now, I don't know what's going on, but I've seen it $700, $900 as a starting point. So the fact that Lisa has negotiated and made it available for you to get a complimentary license is saving you some pretty serious money. So watch for that Activate offer next week and make sure to take advantage of that. We're going to talk about lead management in this webinar, and to manage it properly, you've got to be capturing. So thank you so much, Lisa, for the introduction, and thank you for believing in me, and thanks to all of you for being here. You've probably seen me around the trade show path. I've been doing it longer than I care to admit. A long time. But there's one thing that I know, empirically, I know that if you see and you execute shows properly, what you can get can blow your mind, right? I've been part of some incredible, what I call trade show turnarounds over the years. I worked as a consultant trainer with the company who introduced intraoral cameras to the dental industry. And we wrote in combined about $19 million in orders that we were able to trace back to dental shows, including CDS. So I hope that you get excited about this opportunity of exhibiting. And more importantly, I hope that you put in the work. I hope that you use the resources that we're going to spotlight for you today, because we're going to give you the map, right? But you've got to drive or walk down the path, the terrain. And by the way, if you got questions at any time about exhibiting productivity, reach out to me, Jefferson at Trade Show Turnaround. If you got questions about your exhibit program, need any form of support, Lisa has got your back. She's there for you. So reach out to us. Hey, Lisa and I want one thing for everybody on here. We want you to walk off that show floor in the end of February saying, what a difference a trade show can make in our company's success. That's what we want, and that's what we're talking about today. So I want to do a quick poll here to find out who's with me. We've got a nice turnout here today. The poll I want to launch is, how many years has your company been exhibiting at the CDS Midwinter Meeting? Fastest fingers, click the radio dial button that applies. You're new, your first time? Awesome, welcome to the family. You've been at 1 to 3? You're kind of getting your feet under you, you're learning the ropes. You've been 4 to 7, you're right in that mid path. You've been here longer than 8, you're basically what we would call an advocate at that point. So fastest fingers, look up, click the radio dial button that applies. I'll give you just a moment. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I could share the results here. I'm gonna bring them up. Okay, we got 55% of you have been here 8 years plus. So for those of you that have been here 8 years plus, what I'd like to hear from you via chat or question is, how aware are you of the Exhibitor ROI Center, and have you been visiting and following this 5-step map that we're gonna walk through? If you would go to your question queue and just say, yeah, Jefferson, man, we've been at that, or yeah, no, I didn't know that was out there. We'd love to know that too. And if you're a new exhibitor, right, and you're in that 1 to 3 or even that 4 to 7 year window, and you're looking at the time and you're looking at the money that you're investing, and that's a key word right there too. Write that word down, invest. Too often when I talk to exhibitors about trade shows, they view trade shows as an expense, right? They go, we got to spend all this time and all this money. Well, here's the problem, right? The words that you use frame how you see things. And if you view trade shows as an expense, the chances are good it will end up as an expense for you. On the other hand, write that word. So take the word expense, put a scratch to it. Use the word invest, because that's what you're doing. You're investing both human and financial capital, right? And this sounds small, but it's so much bigger than what you think. Again, 30 plus years, worked with hundreds of companies as exhibitors, $800 million in trade show results that I know of, right? And remember, how you see it is going to influence what you do and what you're not willing to do. So the first thing that I want to spotlight, because the focus of this session is really about, taking advantage of the CDS resources. I want to put the ROI Center in a bright spotlight here. And here's my first action item. If you haven't been there, right? See this link on the screen? I want you to go there, visit it. I want you to bookmark it and share it. Favorite place, bookmark it, share it. And I want you to visit often, and I want you to use it as your roadmap. There's well over $10,000 of proven effective trade show productivity. It's free. It's part of your package, right? It's kind of like the lead retrieval system, but this one will optimize everything. To me, this one has 10 times the value of a free lead retrieval unit, because this is a proven effective map, a roadmap that you can follow, right? And as you can see, we've organized the content. I'm going to go through and break it down for you into 5 steps, right? Because I know, right? Executing an exhibit program that delivers big time results, number one, it doesn't happen by accident, right? And number 2, it takes work, right? You got to be thinking about and doing the right things at the right time frames leading up to, through, and after the show. So let me peel the onion on the ERC, and I want you to make sure that you're using as much of this as you can. Okay, it starts with getting control, right? So we've built these tools, and by the way, these are the same kind of tools that my clients who have generated over 800 million combined that I know of, that we've been using. The only difference is we do it with and for them. I'm giving you these for free. Lisa's giving you these for free. There is a 16-week planning tool, which I think you'll find awesome. There's a cost control tool. Hey, we all know, right, that the cost of everything has gone up recently, right? So this will help you manage your dollar. It'll help you benchmark where your dollar is going. And most importantly, it has ideas on how to stretch your dollar and get more value. There's an exhibit staff evaluation tool that you can share with your staff to make sure that you're putting your best people forward. Finally, right, there's a measurement tool that has performance and financial performance metrics. So if you have a boss, an owner, a partner, a manager that's questioning the time and the money that you're, remember the word, investing, not spending, you got to be using this measurement tool, because it'll help you quickly assess the economic value of your CDS investment. Okay, so here's your step number 1. Write this down. Go download all 4 of these tools right after this webinar. Don't do it now. I want you to stay with me. Again, you can find them all right here. You'll be able to find them all right here. But stay with me and go download them. They're spreadsheets, they're customizable, and they're plug and play. They're ready to go. Save you a lot of time. Here's a look at the planning tool, the 16-week planning tool. It helps you capture all the information, right? It helps you identify your goals, what products or services you're going to feature, and what the stack is. And then you'll notice the color line on the left where it says 16 weeks. It starts breaking down what you should be focusing on and when. You can manage all of your vendor contracts. You can even do competitive analysis in this tool. So download this, the planning and the management tool. Here's the cost control tool. It's pre-built. It has it organizes your dollar by the major investment areas where the dollar goes. As you can see, you input your numbers. You can have a budget actual, and super cool. You see this chart up here, where the dollar goes? That is in the tool. But listen to this. When you put your numbers into the tool, it will automatically create a chart for you. Now you can lay your numbers next to the averages and go, where am I off? Where am I high? Where am I low? Now listen carefully. When you're high or you're low compared to averages, it doesn't mean you're wrong, but it does mean you want to take a look under the hood. You want to make sure that if you're high or low, that it makes sense to be high or low. Okay? Cost control tool. Here's your measurement tool. Look at this. This thing, all you do when you download this tool, put your logo in, put your data, just put your numbers in where the red numbers are, right? And it will automatically calculate and create a dashboard for you. Look on the right, a performance dashboard with 4 metrics and a value and ROI dashboard. And it'll give you averages and it'll show you. What a powerful tool, right? I have a core belief that has driven me for 30 plus years. I was blessed to learn this in my early 20s. The numbers tell the story. You may want to write that phrase down. The numbers tell the story. Honestly, in every area of life. But this tool is plug and play. What a great tool. Imagine if you started running this across all your shows. Imagine if you started running this year to year, right? But some people go, Jefferson, you can't measure trade show results. I'm like, oh, yes, you can. Absolutely can measure them. And people go, oh, it's so expensive to measure. No, it's just capture the data. All this data is pretty easy to capture that we're asking for. And now you've got the tail of the economic tape. What a great tool for you to show, tell, and present to your partner, your owner, your manager, right? In terms of showing that you're making sure that you're executing a great exhibit and you're delivering value for your company. Now, that's the end game, right? That's kind of like, okay, these are outcomes that we should be working towards. How are we going to get there? That's step 2. Okay, I purposefully built these planning exercises to be fast and easy, right? What I recommend you do is gather your team and block at least 90 minutes. Don't do them all at once. Do them one at a time. Notice the time frames. 16 weeks, 12 weeks, 10 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 weeks. Now, these are the ideal or recommended, but whatever time frame you do them, what's important is that you do them, because what you're doing here, if you address these 5 factors, defining your outcomes, identifying and attracting your ideal visitors, managing your visitor experience, managing your leads, and measuring. If you do these 5 things well, you're going to win. Not only at CDS, you'll win at every show you do. And this is what's cool too. Once you download all these tools, you got them. You can honestly use them for every show you do, right? Because we believe that an educated exhibitor who knows what to do, when to do, why to do, and how to do is the greatest exhibitor that we could ever have, right? And of course, we want you in our show. And we want you in our show for the long haul. And we understand that unless you're getting value, you might not be here for the long haul. So download these 5 exercises, schedule them out one at a time. Don't try to sit and do them all in one meeting or one day. Remember the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer was 1 bite at a time, right? 1 bite at a time. So that's your second. Plan to win, okay? Put in the time. There are no free lunches. Just because you show up doesn't guarantee that you're going to get much of anything. You've got to put in the work. And these 5 exercises will guide you on some really critical factors that are going to help you get there, okay? So along the way, as you're addressing these 5 critical success factors, you're going to have questions. You're going to want more knowledge. You're going to want to go right to the topic that relates. So on step 3, look at all these webinars. These are pre-recorded topical webinars that help you essentially do the work of the 5 critical success factors, right? Look at how to tackle the challenges, how to drive booth traffic and prepare your staff, right? How to integrate social media, right? In-booth demonstrations, presentations, secrets of world-class booth staffers, improving lead management. It's all here. This is like, now once again, you can't do all this at once. The average webinar is 45 to 60 minutes. But if you chunk it down and you, okay, I'm going to define my outcomes. Which of these webinars relate to that? I'm going to design my exhibitor experience. Which of these webinars relate to that? And just keep working it down. Now, you can watch these. They're pre-recorded. They have downloadable workbooks. You can pause. You can watch it as many times as you like. So what I'm going to ask you, just take a quick glance. When you think about your exhibit and you think about how well you're doing, or maybe where your areas of improvement are, which of these topics are going to be most useful for you? At least do that, right? At least do that. Okay. Number 4, those are visual. Those are auditory, right? You'll hear it, you'll see it. There's workbooks, there's exercises, but some of you maybe want to read more, right? So look at all of the articles and the white papers that we've put up here. These are all topical, organized by planning, promoting your exhibit, your staff, lead management, and measurement. And pay careful attention. Look at your exhibit, everybody. Look at your exhibit. Look where it says outstanding exhibits. We have 4 years now of where we've walked the entire show floor looking for booths that are well executed. We created a pictorial CDS Midwinter Meeting report spotlighting exhibits and telling you exactly what about that exhibit made it effective. So what does that mean to you? What a great way to make tweaks to your booth, right? Just look at booths that are rocking and, creatively adapt and apply the ideas that make sense for you. So in step number 4, define which articles are going to be most value to you, download them, read them, put in the work. And number 5, I'm here for you, right? That's one of the cool things about this long-term relationship with CDS. You have a trade show productivity expert with 30 years experience, 800 million in known results. You send me an email, you got a question, I'm going to answer it. Usually within 48, honestly, most times within 24 hours, because I have a zero inbox philosophy. At the end of the day, I want my email inbox empty. So I'm here for you, right? Lisa's here for you. So in step 1 and 2, download the tools. Step 2, download the 5 exercises. Put those 5 exercises on your calendar as a minimum of a 90-minute event. Define what webinars and articles support the topic. Get your team together and put in the work, right? The rewards and the results you get from the CDS Midwinter Meeting will be in direct proportion to the effort you put in. Lisa and the CDS is going to do their job. They've got the venue. They're going to get thousands of dental professionals into McCormick Place and into the exhibit hall. They're going to do their part. But you got to do your part, right? And if you put in the work, and the beauty is, if you haven't followed this kind of a structured program before, once you go through the process, it might become a rinse, repeat, and reuse for every show you do going forward. So enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about the CDS Midwinter Meeting attendees. When I first started consulting and training with the company that developed the intraoral cameras, and we were doing CDS, and we were doing Yankee, and we were doing Hinman, and we were doing New York, and we were doing California. We were doing all the big dental shows, right? But you know what I noticed all the way back then? And by the way, this was in the early 90s. I noticed that the booth staff was not paying a lot of attention. They're like, oh, we got to talk to the dentist. It's all about the dentist. Hygienists, assistants, practice managers, whatever, right? No, that's a massive, massive mistake, right? I want you to lock that in. And we get, through the attendee survey, we get complaints from the attendees saying, hey, we're visiting these booths and these exhibitors are blowing us off. They're acting like they just want to scan my badge and move me along, right? So we want to make sure that you are absolutely aware of the influence of the team, because many, if not all, of these dental practices today are using what we call vertical buying teams, and different members in the practice, they play different roles. You have the users, right? You have your hygienists who are on the front line right there every day, doing the perios, right? They're doing the cleaning. Then you have the people that are influencing. Then you have the recommender. Then you have the decision maker, and when you look at buying teams, the different members on the team play different roles. But they have more influence than you might be giving them credit for. And what I'm telling you is if you want to really stand out from the crowd, right, is let's make sure that we are not neglecting the influence of any of these team members, because it can jeopardize, it can undo the entire sale. And I want to put a little footnote here on students. By the way, look on the left, this was 2023. You'll notice that dentists, there were 4,989 dentists. You'll notice that the hygienists, the assistant, and the office personnel, we're at what, 28, 18, 1,500. We're talking more of them, okay? But I also want you to notice students. Look right under dentists. So you've got grad students, residents, and then you've got dental students. Please remember that today's students are tomorrow's buyers or tomorrow's customers. And they remember, you know, if they go to a show and they enter a booth and they get the short shrift, or booth staffers are acting like they really don't want to spend time with them, the chances are good that that's going to come back to haunt you. So make your team aware of this, right? Make sure everybody on your team understands that anybody they talk to on that CDS Midwinter Meeting show floor, not only on the show floor, honestly, anywhere around the event, probably has influence. They might not make the final decision, but I'm going to tell you what, if you got 3 or 4 hygienists or assistants that visited your booth and said, yeah, no, these people didn't really pay attention, you're dead in the water. You're dead in the water. They are not going to recommend that the dentist. You know what we used to do with the infrared cameras was crazy, but it was fun. We would have like hygienists and assistants, and sometimes the practice managers too, that would come, and they would get all excited about the technology because they weren't using infrared cameras at that point. And we would ask them, hey, is the dentist at the show? And they would go, yeah, he or she is, yeah. Say, do you think this would help you improve the consultation and the patient acceptance rate of your treatment? They go, oh, absolutely. We would ask, could you go get him or her and bring him back? And they would, and they would. I mean, we were like, in our heyday, we were writing 1.8, 2.5, $3 million on the show floor for signed purchase orders, okay? For signed purchase orders. Now, buying practices have changed. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we move on. But I really wanted you to lock in on this big, big topic here because it's critically important, okay? The other thing, Lisa, we're going to have, how many exhibiting companies are we expecting this year?
As of today, we have 438 participating exhibitors.
Okay.
And we're hoping to get back to our pre-COVID levels, of course, as every show is. But last year, 2023, we had 450. So we still have space available. So we're continuing to make that available to companies who wish to exhibit.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I want everybody to lock in on, because this is probably, this is probably one of the biggest limiting factors that impacts your results. Can you attract enough of the right people to your exhibit? I tell you what, if you get enough of the right people to your exhibit, and you're doing the other things we talked about, you've got a great exhibit, you've got a booth staff who has their game on, you've got a great product or service presentation demonstration. You can have those things, by the way, but you still got to get the right people. So you've got to do some form of pre-meeting marketing. You got to market to your house list. And by the way, the webinars on the site and the articles, we walk you through all of that stuff. What I'm saying here is one of the biggest reasons why companies do not get the results they want from a show is they don't get enough of the right people to their booth. So this means that marketing, advertising, communicating before and during the event is critical. There's so many things that you can do on your own and should be doing on your own, but there are also some things that you can and should be looking at through CDS. So Lisa, what are the couple of things here? Tell me about this page here that's up on the screen and a couple of these opportunity things that exhibitors at least might want to be thinking about.
Well, the page here is a customized sponsorship brochure, which will show you where in the West Building of McCormick Place your sponsorship would be placed, where it be a banner or a column wrap. And so it shows you if it's available and gives you opportunities. But please know that this is just a fraction of what we do. We do entertain other objects or other ideas, and we'll be happy to discuss that with you. We also have advertising, and not to confuse advertising with sponsorships, but advertising on our website, in our mobile app, in our digital newsletters or e-blasts. Because remember, please, that CDS stopped making mailing lists available as of 2018 to be fully in compliance with the GDPR rules on privacy. So if you're interested in reaching the Midwinter Meeting attendees, you can always advertise through our e-newsletters, which is managed through our advertising agent, Fox Associates. Other items that are of importance are the mobile app, which will be available in January, and there'll be splash screens and interstitial ads, and of course, the ever popular push notifications. In 2023, we discontinued our official program, and the mobile app is really the tool that we are encouraging all attendees and exhibitors to download to navigate the meeting and to find out the most up-to-date information. In addition to that, because we do know that a lot of people like to have that tangible piece of paper in their hands, we created the course event and exhibitor guide. This year, we expanded it to include the list of exhibitors so that attendees not only have an at-a-glance course schedule and the list of events, but they'll also have the up-to-date list of exhibitors. So that is available with 3 panels of advertising or sponsorships available. So if you are interested, please contact me as soon as possible, because this will be a hard deadline near the end of the year so that we could have enough copies available come showtime.
All right, thank you, Lisa. So here's the thing. This is what I want all of you listening right now to think about. I want you to think about what your goals are. Why are you exhibiting at the CDS meeting? 1. I want you to think about who your target visitor is, the mix between customers that you are or not or have done business with, because you got to circle the wagons around your customers. You really do at a show. I want you to think about prospects that are already in your sales funnel or your pipeline. How can you use the meeting to move them forward, maybe to closure? And I want you to think about potential new opportunities. So think about your goals, think about your target visitors, think about what you already plan on doing on your own, the do-it-yourself type marketing. You already have these lists, so you can and should be doing marketing. You should be using email, because you have the lists already. You should be using direct mail. The clutter in the mailbox has gotten really, really, really light. What a great time to get back in the mailbox, especially for trade shows, right? With oversized postcards, right? Show logo, quick hook, see, do, learn, get, bring this card to the booth, right? Social media, right? You have phone numbers, get on the phone and call people, right? Print advertising in the dental journals, right? And then look at the CDS specific opportunities and think about your budget. And, take a look at, as you can see on the bottom, we've got them organized by the categories. And you can see the number of opportunities that are within each category. And we're not asking to buy anything here. What I'm asking is just think about what might help you get in front of the right people. And when they hit that show floor, they're going, where are you? Right? Getting in the mind, write this phrase down, everybody. In the mind, on the agenda of the right people. And notice Lisa talked about the mobile app. The mobile app is an absolutely underutilized and extremely effective resource with the ability to have push notifications, to have splash screens, to have ads. where they can put you on my show planner, my show calendar, list of exhibitors that I want to see, right? So take a look at these ops. And here's my best advice, right? Look at the ops, identify ones that you're interested in, drop Lisa an email, pick up the phone, make a call. She's here to help you. Like me, we're not here to sell you anything. We're here to help you get to where you want to go. Make sure you're aware of these different resources, because there's a lot of resource available. And again, that's what the theme of today's webinar was about. I've been around CDS now, I think, Lisa, this is our, what, maybe 9th, 10th year. And
Yes.
when we look back over history, you and I have worked together probably over 25 years. Right?
Longer than that, 1997.
Yes, we're really dating ourselves here, but that's who we are, right? You know what? We're boomers that love trade shows and want nothing more than you to win. So reach out, take a look at these ops, identify which ones, reach out to Lisa, reach out to the contacts if there's anybody on there, and put a little more effort in. You know, I would recommend that you invest 15% of your budget, your exhibit marketing budget. Let me bring that slide back up here, right here. Notice here, this was the Center for Exhibition Industry Research report. At this point, found that the average exhibitor was investing 14% of their total show budget to promoting and marketing. I would recommend that if you want to win in a show with, we're probably going to push 500 exhibiting companies, that you invest at least 15%, at least 15. That way, you're going to have the resources to do the things that the average exhibitors aren't doing that are going to make the big difference for you. Okay, hey, now we're throwing a lot at you, and any questions that are coming into your mind, go to your question queue, type your question, press send. We got a few more slides to hit, and then we're going to open this up for questions, but I want to keep peeling the onion here. Okay, so show specials. We want to talk about this idea, the dental industry. One of the big drivers at dental trade shows, of course, is the dental professionals to learn about product, services, find ways to improve things, find ways to save money. So a show special, let's talk about this, because we used to use them with the intraoral cameras. We had special financing, and if you had multiple operatories, we would have a multi-operatory discount, and we had special financing rates secured. But they work best. Show specials work best when you have a non-complex sales offer. Non-complex, like when you're asking them to change a process or a procedure, you know, that can be scary, right? It doesn't mean that they won't. It doesn't mean that they're not open to it, but it's not going to be a, oh yeah, let me do this now type decision. So if you have let's say you're going to change their customer relationship management, their CRM system, or you're going to change how they do a certain procedure or diagnostic, right? Those can be complex, right? But if you have a commodity, if you have a consumable, right, not so complex, and if you can deliver similar or better quality and save them money, right, it's going to be right there. Another underutilized way to deploy show specials, remember I said earlier, you should identify all of the prospects that your sales team, your dealers, your distributors are currently in dialogue with, and identify who's close to a deal or who's stalled, and how can we use the midwinter meeting to move them one step closer, maybe to the ultimate decision. We've picked up tens of millions of dollars in low-hanging fruit that we were able to break the stall by answering another question, resolving a technical fit issue, meeting another influencer or decision maker. So think about that. The other thing that they do, what a show special really does, is it builds that sense of urgency, and it offers a reward for acting now versus later, right? So it's about urgency and reward. But please keep this top of the mind, no matter what your product or service is, unless there is a clear and legitimate interest on the part of the visitor, it's not going to, you know, there has to be interest. There's got to be a, you know, interest or a need. So a show special is not magic. It's not going to create interest or need where there's no interest or need, right? There has to be interest or need. So that's when show specials work. So when you think about organizing show specials, price discounts, BOGOs, buy one, get one free, bundles or package offers, the old Ginsu approach, getting, 3 things together, saving this much. Oh, by the way, you get that, right? Maybe you have minimum orders, and maybe you're going to reduce or not create a minimum order. There's an old technique in sales that we call the puppy dog, where if you let them take the puppy home, right, the odds of them bringing that puppy back are pretty slim, right? Pretty slim. Free shipping, right? Freight and shipping is very expensive nowadays, right? No down payment. Maybe you normally require a down payment. Maybe you can forego that. Maybe your payment terms, maybe you do net 30 normally, and now maybe you're going to extend to net 60 or next 90, right? Any one or combination of these could come together. If you have capital equipment or more expensive products that people would typically finance, maybe you're going to try to pre-negotiate special reduced financing rates. We've used that one many, many times to help pull people across the line, especially today, right? When rates are so high right now, right? So what you want to, maybe exclusivity in a geographical area, right? Maybe that it's a certain process or something. And, I'll tell you, where I live in Charlotte, everywhere I look, there's dentists. I'm telling you, every shopping center I go to, and there's like 2 or 3 dentists in there. There's a lot of competition, right? So sometimes exclusivity of a certain product or a service can give them an advantage. So what I want you to think about is, what is your product? Do you have a complex sale? How could you put together some form of an offer that creates that sense of, oh, I'd have to be crazy not to take advantage of this. Oh, I need to act like right now. And then maybe extended warranties or guarantees, right? Maybe right now you only have a 90-day warranty guarantee. Maybe you're going to extend that for a year, right? Look at all these different ways that you can structure a show special offer. And then if this makes sense for you, I want you to bring your show special. I want you to promote it before the show, and we want you at SIPS Suds and Sales event. That'll be Friday, February 23rd, 3:15 to 5:15 p.m. And we're going to be giving free beer and wine in the exhibit hall. So what's the old saying? Everything can change after a beer or two, right? People's desire to do, buy this or that, right? And now we're not saying they're going to get drunk and make a bad decision. We're just saying that, when you offer, that, sometimes people tend to loosen up a little bit, right? So make sure you promote that. And also make sure that you upload your new products and your show specials, because this is going to show up when you upload it. It's going to show up in the mobile app. And the place you do that in is the ExpoCAD, your digital booth tool. You have the ability to upload new products and show specials. Lisa, is there anything you wanted to add on this event and the ExpoCAD that I might have missed?
For the Sip Suds and Sales event, this is the combining of the ice cream social and the brews and bargains that we had in 2022 and 2023. So we wanted to broaden that. Any exhibitor, and we'll be sending out a form for exhibitors to indicate that, yes, they want to participate in the Sip Suds and Sales event. If you just choose to participate, we will give you a complimentary tile in the digital show bag, which we do email to every Midwinter Meeting attendee. Digital. And it's a special tile on our mobile app as well for those people who register on site.
Yeah, so once again, the opportunity is here. So think about your product, think about the complexity of your offer. See if you can't put together a combination. Sometimes it's a combination of these different proven offers that you can bring together to put a value stack together that when you offer them, like you could, now it's not like they're gonna, you're gonna like, Lisa, can exhibitors cash and carry at this show? Are they allowed to like sell instruments and let them carry it?
We don't encourage it. We don't do that because we're not having the special license with the state of Illinois Department of Commerce to now collect sales tax.
Yeah, that gets really complicated. You're 100% right on that, but they can write orders and then ship after the fact.
Correct. So you
Yeah,
can certainly collect credit card information and process that and ship
there you go.
later. And I do know that people will make the special sale for floor models and things like that for,
Yeah,
extra brushes and things along those lines.
yeah,
And we just, because we don't have that arrangement with the Illinois Department of Revenue.
right. Yeah, and that does get sticky for sure when you this cash and carry and writing. Then you got to report sales tax, and it gets yeah. So okay, show specials really important. If it makes sense for you, put on your thinking cap. There's a lot of low hanging fruit waiting to be picked, if you will. Okay, let's talk about one more topic here. Then we'll go to our Q&A. Lead retrieval, utilizing it. One. And Lisa's making it easy because she's given everybody a complimentary license. Again, most shows don't do that. Most shows charge. They're talking 500, 700. Again, I've seen for a basic mobile app download this year, $900, right? So you get that one complimentary license for free. So make sure you do that. So let's talk about this whole lead management thing here. This is any sales that you would pick up at the show, even with your show specials, are going to be what I would call the low hanging fruit, right? And if you think about like an iceberg and you think about the tip of that would be like an iceberg where the tip is sticking above the water and it looks pretty big, right? An iceberg, you go, whoa, look at that thing. But what's under the water, the size of an iceberg below the water you can't see is 5, 6, 8, 10, 20 times larger. And so if ROI, return on investment, is the name of the game, lead management is the playbook. That's why we list that as a critical success factor. So what really makes a great lead, right? To me, it's two things. Information rich, more than just what is embedded in the badge, right? And the visitor has discussed and agreed to take a clear next action. And that is, both of those are oversights. What most exhibitors call leads are not leads. They're more like scans or swipes, right? So let's make sure that we define it what it is. Get more than just what's in the badge. Get the visitor to collaborate and commit to a clear next action. Okay. So to do this, you want to first think about what information do you need to capture beyond name, title, address, email, phone number, whatever, right? What additional information, if you could capture this, would help you qualify that there is a problem you can help them solve or an opportunity you can help them seize. I don't really care what you sell. I don't care if you sell product, service, I don't care what it is. At the end of the day, you either help them solve a business problem, a practice management problem, a patient care problem, or you help them seize an opportunity that they may not have been aware of when they walked in. Okay, so define what information you need to capture. Script your questions out. Literally have the best thinker in your organization set and write what would be the question we would ask a visitor to get them to voice the need or the problem, right? Script them and put them in a natural flow of conversation. Tell me about your practice. What do you do with the practice? How are you performing this or that? How's that working for you? If you could make that better, what would that be? Right? What are some of the frustrations or problems you're running into with regard to this or that? Get them talking about the most important topic in the world, themselves, their practice, their job, their career, their patients, right? And then script them so the front end questions are about them and the situation and the need. Then the back end questions are what we call the harder qualifiers. How are you involved in analyzing and making the decision? Who besides yourself? Budget, time frame, all that, right? And then customize your capture device, right? Get these key qualifiers into your capture device. Do you know that according to Experian, only 7% of exhibitors, write that number down, 7% use custom qualifiers. If you want to win the game, hang out with those people, right? Then once you build your visitor engagement, your question flow, your capture device, you got to train your booth staff. You've got to do training on guiding the conversation by asking the right questions and using the device. Because I tell you what, if you slap a nice lead capture device on your booth staff and do not let them work with it before, they're probably not going to use it, or they're definitely not going to use it as well as they could. Okay, next, set lead goals, right? You know what I've found over the years? Write this down. You want to know a great lead goal? 1 qualified lead per hour per staff on duty. 1 lead per hour per staffer. And communicate that and check halfway into day 1. Check at the end of day 1. Check on day 2 and hold them accountable. You know, set goals, communicate the goals, inspect what you expect. One of the ways we do that when I'm doing staff training and in-booth coaching with clients like you, we, at the end of the day or the end of the shift, we hold a quick recap of how did you do? How did you do? How did you do? Who was the most important person you talked to today? What is the key opportunity that you found to keep everybody dialed in and on purpose, right? And sometimes we'll even have like an MVP staffer of the shift of the day. We'll give them a Starbucks gift card. We'll give them an Amazon gift card, right? We'll give them tickets to the basketball game that night, right? We'll give them a meal certificate at a high-end restaurant, whatever, right? But get your team focused on capturing high-quality, information-rich leads. Number 9, make sure that you develop your follow-up plan in advance. One of the great things about the electronic lead capture is the ability to upload your content, your literature, your PDFs, and the ability to follow up instantly when you're standing with a visitor. Do you know a study by Harvard Business Review found that first responders, first meaning the first person that responds to a lead, wins the majority of the deals. So let's not wait till we get back to figure out what we're going to do with our leads. Let's develop that plan in advance. And number 10, final point, stay in touch. Don't stop early. For many exhibitors, they'll email, they'll make 1 or 2 follow-up emails or phone calls, and then they'll quit. If you know that you can help this practice or this person within the practice, commit to staying in touch for as long as it takes, right? And if you'll do that, right, these are some really big takeaways on lead management. So here is the form for the kit, okay? Here's the URL, okay? And so I would encourage you, Lisa, what do they have to do differently to claim the complimentary download?
I emailed them a specific, it's tailored to each exhibitor. I emailed it out 2 days ago, and all they have to do is click in the link and just complete the information. One thing that you should know, when it asks for the phone number, it doesn't have to be the number of the device that you ultimately download the mobile app to. So that's just for contact information. So just put down your office phone number and then claim that activation.
Okay, thank you. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but yet I feel like we've scratched the surface. We're at the hour mark. This is your chance. If you have any questions on any of these topics here, go ahead, go to your question queue right now, type them in. And of course, the learning doesn't end right now. It doesn't end here today, right? The Exhibitor ROI Center that we showed you, that is your roadmap. You can access me at any time with trade show productivity questions. And of course, you've got Lisa on your team here available at any time. So this will be your last chance. If you have any questions during the live event, go ahead and submit. I'll take a look. And beyond that, Lisa, any closing thoughts as we wind down today's webinar?
No, I just thank you all for participating this afternoon. When we get the recording, we will post it in the ROI Center. It might be available as early as tomorrow or next week. But please, if you have any questions or concerns about registration, lead retrieval, hotels, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. We just had a question come in from Annalise. Thank you, Annalise. Really good question. She says, how do you balance following up with leads immediately versus waiting until they're back in the office and ready to talk? Annalise, listen very carefully. It's collaborate with the visitor on what the next step is. So I'll tell you how I do this when I'm at a show. The first thing I'll do is I'll reconfirm that there's legitimate interest. So I would say something like this. Hey, Annalise, so based on what you've heard so far, does this sound like it might be worth learning more about? And they go, now that's a really good question because I'm going to know the level of interest right there. Does it sound like it might be worth learning more about? They'll either go, yeah, it sure does, or they'll go, yeah, it's kind of interesting, or I don't know. And if they go, I don't know, I'm going to ask, what about it doesn't seem to fit, or what questions do you have, right? So I'll set, and then here's part two. What do you think our next step is? How can we help you learn more? And well, we'd like to get information. We'd like to have a meeting, maybe have you come to the clinic and do a lunch and learn or a breakfast, whatever. When would you like that to happen? So the key, Annalise, is to not just, well, if I can scan your badge, we'll send you some information. The key is to confirm interest and collaborate with each individual on what happens next and when and how it happens, right? Julie, Annalise, I hope that helps with that question. Julie, great question. How many staff should be in our booth? The staffing rule of thumb is 50 square feet per staffer. So if you have a 10 by 10 booth, you have space in your booth for 2 of your people, maybe, and notice the long maybe, 3. Do not overstaff the booth. On the other hand, don't understaff it. If you're in a 10 by 10 booth and it's just you, and another dental professional walks up, what do? Right? Do you stop the conversation? So staffing rule of thumb, 2, maybe 3 people per 50 square feet of space. Now, for you larger exhibitors logged in today, there is a saturation point where you'll kind of go, oh, no, that's way too many. And if it feels like too many staff, it is too many staff, right? So great question. Let's see, got a question on what is my thought on staff apparel? How should my booth staff dress? I think wearing branded apparel is smart. It immediately identifies you as a booth staffer. Have you ever walked up to a booth and looked in and seen a bunch of people wearing suits in there and kind of wondered who's who in the zoo, right? I don't, so branded apparel identifies you as a staffer, approachable, makes you look very approachable, carries your brand not only in your booth, but around the show. So I am a big believer in branded staff apparel, and I think creatively well-designed branded staff apparel can also be an attention grabber for a booth too. So thank you for that question. So I don't see any more questions. I want to thank everybody. Please, today was a beginning, not an end. Go to the Exhibitor ROI Center, bookmark it, download the 3 tools, download the 5 planning exercises, schedule to complete those one at a time. Watch the supporting webinar, read the supporting articles on the topic. You got questions? Lisa and I are here for you. And if you'll do that, I can close our webinar here, not by wishing you and your company a better Chicago Dental Society Midwinter meeting. I guarantee you'll have a better one. So go get them. It's there for the taking. We're here to help you. Thanks for logging in, everybody. Please watch your email for the survey, which will come in a few moments. Lisa would love to get your feedback, as I would too. And you got questions, we're here for you. We will see you again soon, and we will definitely be seeing you at the Midwinter meeting in February. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thanks.